Smash the like button and subscribe.
Or karate chop the like button.
And subscribe. What to do, what to do. This is the Brothers on Books podcast, where we find great books that will give you real value and actionable steps and have fun in the process. Please reach out to us at brothersonbooks@gmail.com for any book recommendations, or if you'd like to be a guest host for a particular book you have in mind. A great review or rating on whichever platform you're listening to this would be greatly appreciated. And lastly, if you can think of any friend, family member, or coworker that might like this episode, please pass it along. For the original episodes, the OGs, please visit brothersonbooks.com. I am Jack Allweil, and with me, as always, is Alex Allweil. Al, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Happy it's Friday, and I got the weekend. I guess in a week, I'll be back with you in Michigan. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're starting the long drive up tomorrow morning. So we're going to try to make it to Columbus, Ohio. So it should be like 7-8 hour drive.
Sure. It's not too bad. Definitely doable.
Yeah, we'll see. My back's been hurting a little bit too. So I don't know how long the long drive is going to put me into shape. Or
actually, my back's been killing me lately. What's your back been hurting from?
Honestly, I think it was sleeping too much one night. I took a really hot bath, felt super dehydrated, had to go to bed like at 8 p.m. and then I didn't wake up until like 9 a.m.
Sure.
And I think that, and yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like a muscle, but yeah, it's no bueno.
Sure. I'm pretty sure mine has been hurting from pickleball because I played a lot this week. I got a lot of hits in. Hour-wise, it wasn't that much, but I was just drove. I drove like 4 days in a row.
Okay.
So that's usually a lot.
You are a pickleball beast. So I guess this week is a little bit different. So how is this week different from all other weeks, Al?
This week, we are doing our book draft.
What is a book draft?
So for those of you that weren't there for our first book draft, we each decided to choose 3 books, and now we are drafting those books, and those will be the next our next projects, I guess, for this podcast. So this will be highlighting the next 6 or so books that we'll be reading on the show.
Very good. So with that, how should we do this? Do you want me to share my screen or with the spreadsheet?
Yeah. Why don't you? That should be good. You should share your screen with the spreadsheet.
Let's see here. Okay, so the low-hanging fruit, back by popular demand in 2 weeks' time, will be our godmother Sharon. When she was on her episode about pirates, it had the second most downloads in 2021, just behind Laird Money by Nick Bhatia. So Sharon decided to pick this book. It's called The Bookseller of Kabul, and that is by Osni Seierstad. And I will put that. I will put that link, if I can get it, into the Facebook Live group.
Sure.
So Al, do you want to? You had a friend that wanted to be on?
Yeah. So, well, you've met my friend Sam via CEO, one of my old soccer friends from Nashville, and he does a good amount of coaching and both private individual lessons, and coaches, I think, some sort of youngster teams. But he wanted to come on to do Inside Out Coaching, how sports can transform lives.
Okay.
I think So I know he is disposed of the first week of June, which doesn't seem to be a problem. But yeah, we could probably, I don't exactly know. I'll need to touch base with him on the dates. But I think if we slated him for probably the early to middle of July, that should be okay.
Okay, we're gonna put him. Well, how about July 3rd?
Okay, yeah, that should work.
Okay. Well, and what's the book called again?
Called Inside Out Coaching: How Sports Can Transform Lives.
Okay. Very cool.
That's by Joe Earthman.
Joe Earthman.
It's a very bizarre EHRMANN.
EHR.
MANN.
Oh, or Ehrmann. Okay. It's German. Okay. Okay. So you're not counting that as one of your books though, right?
No, that's correct. I did not. He just reached out to me. I had already chosen my books, and he reached out to me, I think probably earlier in this week, saying he wanted to do this. And I was like, yeah. He is the first, I would say he's the first of my friends that have taken me up on actually coming on, because I pretty much offer it to everyone that I talk to the podcast about.
Cool. So, okay, so why don't you go first? Should we go in reverse order by date?
No, why don't we just go?
Okay.
Why don't we just go normal?
Okay.
Okay, so well, what were we planning for 529?
Well, we're gonna have to either revamp a book or do a solo mission.
Okay. So for the first, I actually had a couple books. I can probably choose one. I've listened to and read a couple more good ones that I could talk about. So you can just slot me down on the 29th as a solo mission if you want.
Okay.
I think I'll probably actually do this book that I'm just about to finish that I have liked, called Collective Illusions by Todd Rose.
That's the solo mission?
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Active Illusions?
Collective Illusions.
Oh, collective. Okay.
By Todd Rose.
Okay.
Okay, and the first book I chose for this draft was Grunch of Giants by R. Buckminster Fuller, which you probably recognize the name from. Kiyosaki talks a lot about him. He's kind of considered a futurist. I don't know. Kiyosaki and Kim talk about him all the time, about how he was so influential in their lives. I knew him from fullerene, which was this sort of odd hydrocarbon molecule that was made that I believe was him. I wasn't sure if it was the same person, but the book's sort of about, from what I can tell, how corporations have begun to exert more and more control over people's everyday lives.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is, you'll be happy about this because I've picked some long books, but this is only 99 pages long.
Yeah, I actually I was thinking about picking this, and then I was just thinking I would pick that as a solo mission if it didn't get picked. So I'm glad you picked it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just, because I know she's coming on, I'm gonna slot my first selection is Give Me Shelter by Ivy Zellman. I don't know if you've heard Ivy speak on like Bigger Pockets or one of those real estate shows, but she's like the, I guess, real estate goddess, some would call her.
Okay.
And that is my first pick.
Okay. Okay, so my second pick is a book I think I've also spoken with you about, which is called When Breath Becomes Air.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of this, by Paul Galanthi. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. It's Kalanthi.
Is it okay if I put it out here?
Yeah, that's fine.
When breath becomes air. I've heard of that book talked on a lot. That's
Yeah, I've heard it spoken on a lot of different podcasts, so I'm not surprised that you have heard of it as well.
Okay. And who's that by again?
His name's Paul Calanthi, Kalan. If I'm reading my writing right, Uthi.
Okay. Okay, my next very biased pick is my lovely wife's book, 32 Lessons from a 10-Day Fasting Retreat.
Okay.
It is about the benefits of prolonged fasts.
All right.
And yes, my wife's name is Elena Fitzilova. Okay, so 32 lessons
That cover art looked like it was on point.
from a 10-day fasting retreat.
And she's coming on, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you finally convinced her to come on.
Yep.
All right. Maybe we can bump those sales for her.
Right. Oh, by the way, if someone is actually listening to this on Facebook Live, her book will be free tomorrow and Sunday. But it doesn't look like we have any viewers right now. So her book will be free. I'm making my book, Make Better Bets, free tomorrow and Sunday. So just a lot of free books going around. Okay. So your next selection.
My next selection is The Coddling of the American Mind by Jonathan Haidt.
Jonathan Haidt?
Yeah, his name's spelled Haidt.
Ah, okay. Cool. That should be an interesting book.
Have you heard of that before?
I don't think I have.
Okay. He's very interesting to listen to speak.
Okay.
He speaks a lot. Gives a lot of psychology about really sort of the detriments of social media in many regards to a lot of times just younger individuals.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. And then, so my last pick. So when I went to the Banff Film Festival a couple weeks ago, there was I think it was one of the 6 movies really got my curiosity going. It was about a guy that played violin across Spain as he was walking and basically trying to get money from his violin playing, and he had never played violin. He took like lessons for like a year prior to doing this trip, and he wanted to show you how you can take adventures really anywhere. And this book is called My Midsummer Morning, and it's by Alastair Humphreys. And he basically did the same journey that was discussed in, I think, another book called My Midsummer Morning. So it's pretty cool that he like basically just did everything out of the book. Marie's asking how do I find her book? It is on Amazon. I wonder if that link doesn't work. But here, My Midsummer Morning. Alastair Humphreys.
a great name.
It is. I think he's written like it looked like he written a lot of books, like about like biking around the world, all these types of adventure books. And he does these things. I think he lives in a very small space, but I think he's British.
Yeah, that sounds.
But
With a name, I would guess
but
that name.
he's all about adventure and doing what he wants. And it was a very, very cool movie. You can probably find some of the clips on YouTube if you just search Banff Alistair Humphreys.
Okay.
So that's cool. And then yeah, so we have these books picked, and I guess we'll do our solo missions in between, and unless if something super cool comes up, we'll probably keep them as solo missions. But cool.
Did you have any books that you were going to do by yourself already lined up?
I was thinking of the Bitcoin standard. I was thinking of, well, I was thinking of Grunch of Giants. I'm happy you picked that one.
So the Bitcoin standard, didn't that guy also write he wrote the fiat standard as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's Saifedean is from Lebanon, and very cool guy. I think Michael Saylor actually wrote the forward. Him and Michael Saylor are very close, it sounds. Okay. So what about you? Any solo missions?
I just listened to a couple Robert Greene books that I think I could do. One of my favorite fantasy books, The Night Circus, I think at some point I'll probably talk on. I just reread that probably about 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay.
There was another book that we talked about briefly with cousin Dan. I don't know if he was going to come on, but The Fish That Ate the Whale. I read that a couple months ago and I really liked that. So at some point we could either do that with him or I would just do it alone, or we could do it together.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that would be a cool event if we could get Dan on and discuss that. Trying to think if there were other books. Oh, there's Rich as Dirt by Mark Podolsky. That's the land flipping guy. Thinking about reading that too. But we might wait because I think I can get him to come on, so we'll see.
Sure.
But yeah.
All right.
Any final comments?
What's
of the next like 3 months of reading?
This seems like it's going to be, a different series of books than what we maybe did the last couple of months, which I think is probably good. It's always good to have variety in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The what are you thinking of the bookseller of Kabul so far?
I like it. I still have some work to do on that one, but it's been good so far. How about yourself?
I've enjoyed it. It's very eye-opening. Definitely gives you a different perspective. I also have some ways to read.
I'd be interested to see if Sharon just rolls out and says, yeah, I guess her first sentence will probably either be I liked it or I hated it. So it'll be interesting to see what she says.
Absolutely. I guess there were also a couple other, trying to think of other solo books I was thinking of doing. I was thinking of rereading The Prince.
Okay.
Or rereading The Compound Effect.
Okay, that was a good book.
Darren Hardy. And The Go-Giver, I was also thinking of rereading because I really like that book.
Sure.
They're all relatively short, easy reads, so I thought those would be good ones. So Okay, Al,
All right, Jake, you want to take us out?
I can do that. Um, please reach out to us at brothersonbooks@gmail.com for any book recommendations, or if you would like to be a guest host for a particular book you have in mind. A great review or rating on whichever platform you're listening to this would be greatly appreciated. And lastly, if you can think of any friend, family member, or coworker that might like this episode, please pass it along. With that, I guess I'd like to say thanks to the few members that joined us on Facebook Live and apologize for the technical difficulties early. And hopefully we can do a better job of that next time.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, Al, I will talk to you later.
All right. Later, Jack.
Take care.
Bye.